to my channel Rue's Life. So welcome back to those of you that are already following me, and welcome to anybody that might be new, and thank you to all of you for watching my video or previous videos, and hopefully videos to come. So today, here I am in the polytunnel. Not a huge amount going on here in the polytunnel, but we have been getting on with outside. So Chris has really kindly come and helped me finish off today, and I'll show you what I've been doing. And he's also been bringing over some manure. We've got some really good well-rotted manure at the bottom of the muck heap from the horses, and he's been bringing it over to fill up and top up these beds in here, because they're really ready now after a whole season of growing and producing, and I've had harvest after harvest after harvest from in here, so they're ready for topping up with a bit of nutrient and also to bring the levels back up. So I'll show you around and I'll show you what we've been up to. here I am outside the polytunnel. So you can see the original bed there, and I will show you a little bit closer in a moment what's going on in there. But then there's the two new additional beds that I've created here. And now I've just put a little bark path around the edge. It's far from perfect, but as ever, with the budget that's available to me and also what I happen to have. So I've reused the weed suppressant membrane, and there were two little areas where there just wasn't quite enough, so I have had to split an old compost bag in two areas and put that down instead. But the bulk of this has got some weed suppressant membrane and then some nice bark chips, and I've actually managed to do that with 8 100-litre bags of bark chip. So it is only a fairly thin layer, but you know, there's predominantly only myself that uses this, and occasionally Chris, so there's not a huge amount of traffic around here, so it should really help just to keep everything more maintained and stop those weeds and grass encroaching. And then when we do strim the areas, we're not strimming up quite so close to the beds, so I'm really pleased with that. And then here you can see this is a bit of a tangly mess now. There are still some leek, if I just move you around. So we've got still a decent crop of leek here. And then this to the left here was just that selection of lovely pretty flowers, including some calendula, and I think there were some daisies and some other bits and pieces. There was just a selection in here, and they were really pretty, and I've just kind of left it over the winter because they flowered really very late into the winter, and it was quite pretty. And then it's just worked as a little bit of a mulch over the, you know, like a growing mulch. So I will have a day where I get that cleared. And then over here, I'll just gently move you around. So here, this is the garlic that I put in at the same time as the onion. Now, if you look across here now, you can see those were the green or the white onion. I forget off the top of my head which type they are, but they're coming up, they're looking really good. But then further across to the left, I'll just move a little bit closer. You can't actually see them very well. Now, you can see they're nowhere near as far ahead as the garlic or the white onion, but this is where the red onion are, and they're obviously going to be a little bit slower to come. I'm not sure if I lean across without tipping you about too much. Just here you can see there's a little spike there, and there are a couple of other little spikes coming, so I've got every faith that they're going to come. And then there's just one leek left there, which we'll probably be pulling at some point to eat, but I just find them better to leave in the ground. And here I am back in the polytunnel. So over here I have got some little baby leek that I started a while ago, so they'll be getting ready soon to put into a bed. And then these are just the leftovers of the herbs that my mum had given to me, and I think there's a couple of chives there that I'd started from seed, and some coriander also. Yeah, it's become a bit of a graveyard. I think they're going to be okay, and you know, once the weather starts warming up again and I start cracking on again outside, I'll find some spaces to put those. And then down here is the celeriac. Now, I'm sure in a previous video, either the last one or the one before, I called that something else. I can't remember what I called it, but it is celeriac. And it's doing okay. We'll see what happens to it, but I'm going to start some fresh again once we get, you know, more towards sort of end of February, March. Then the perpetual spinach, which we're still eating. It's slowing down now in its growth, but it's still nice and green, and it's nice to have some fresh greens from the polytunnel. You know, we can just come in and pick them and then use them in a meal. And then this bed here, it still needs some more compost on top, but Chris has done a great job of barrowing from the muck heap and filling that up for me. That's really saved me some work. So I still need to bring that up a level, but it's just great to know that that's got some nice, rich, well-rotted off the muck heap from the horses, and some of the chicken poop goes in there as well, and it's really nice crumbly stuff, so that's great. I just need to top that up again. Then we've got the geraniums up here, which are just hanging around waiting for spring. This bed is the one that the Christmas vegetables came out of, so that's now empty, and I will put a little bit extra on top of that. So this is the one that had the potatoes in it, and then I put turnip, carrot, leek, and parsnip in there, and they were really successful. So this bed hasn't been hammered in quite the way that that big long bed has. That big long bed's done 2 years of growing for me now, so yeah, it deserves a decent amount of you know, more enriched compost there. And then over here we've got the chard. There's nothing else in there now. And then this is the bed that the strawberries are in. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to leave them in there or whether I will move them elsewhere later on, you know, when spring comes. So that's pretty much where I'm up to at the moment. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful day, and you know, it's that feeling, isn't it? New Year. I think it's the 3rd or 4th of January today, and just that feeling of, you know, there are little spikes coming through, there are things starting to grow. I'm looking out to see for daffodils and snowdrops popping up, but it's that feeling of, you know, we've gone full circle, haven't we, and everything's had a little rest. I am fortunate that within the polytunnel I can grow and extend my season, but it's that time where we're all itching now to start some seeds off. So I'll probably start a few seeds off. I have an area in the spare bedroom, I've got an ottoman under a window, and I can start some seeds off in there, but I will also start a few bits and bobs off in here over the next few weeks as well. So that's us. It's coming into that growing season again, and I can't wait until everywhere is lush and green and we're harvesting again. So I hope you're all really well. I hope you've had a great Christmas and a lovely New Year, and thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon.